Hi, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. This is Haute Residence, Haute Living. I'm Eric Haas, the director. Once again, we have a wonderful cast of panelists today discussing things that are going on with regards to luxury real estate with the best of the best. Corona has really caused some complications in the world, but luxury real estate seems to be very strong in a lot of markets. Today, we have two great partners that are agents and also broker owners for different markets that are very strong right now with Corona and the tops in their market. Thank you so much for joining us, first of all. And I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. I know I've said it before, but never on camera. So Nilou?
It's okay. Everyone says it. It's Nilou.
Nilou. All right. I'm going to remember that next time.
No
but thank you so much for joining us. I know you and your husband, Gerald, who's, of course, legendary basketball player, Duke Blue Devils, crushed my Maryland Terps many times. I don't want to talk about it. Charlotte Hornets. And one thing we'll talk about is, that you guys work with a lot of the NBA players and relocation as well. But I know you started Henderson Ventures and you guys are in Charlotte, North Carolina, but you're global as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're definitely looking forward to your insight with regards to what's going on in Charlotte as well as globally.
Yes, thank you for having us. And thank you for that introduction.
Thank you. And then also we have Hilary-Farnum with us as well. Hilary is from one of the hottest markets in the world, 30A, which I know is Destin and some of the areas around Destin over there in the Northwest, Florida Panhandle. I know you've been with Corcoran. I know you're number one in that area. You've been a partner of ours for a long time. We're grateful of everything. And I know that your market is, I think, more of an inventory issue right now than anything else because it's so red hot, right?
You are so right. Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. So we'll definitely look forward to your insight as well. We were supposed to have Bento with us too, but he had a family emergency. So we look forward to having him on the next time we do a wonderful panel, hopefully in the near future. So let's go back over to Nilou. I got it right this time. Nilou, first of all, in terms of Charlotte and the immediate area around Charlotte with regards to Corona, how have things been since it started, which is now amazingly about a year? And what's your take in terms of what's going on moving forward for this year?
COVID, I will say, of course, it's been traumatic for a lot of people, all of us. For our market here in real estate, especially the luxury market, it actually has been interesting. I'll use that word. We are red hot, as you would say. Our market has an inventory issue. We are a supply and demand. We have a lot of buyers coming in from a lot of different areas, and we have very little inventory. So COVID, I think it's brought us a couple different, pros and cons. But one of those pros are that our real estate market is really on a whole different level right now.
Yeah. Have you found that other areas that normally don't come to Charlotte are relocating to you, like maybe New York or LA or other areas that you normally wouldn't focus on?
Yes. So we typically work with a lot of the athletes that are coming from different locations either way. But most recently, I've been working with a lot of buyer clients that are coming from New York and LA, Dallas, just a lot of the bigger cities. I think they're looking to come and relocate somewhere that's a little bit less congested. And so for us, we've really been able to grab upon those buyers, which it's been great, but it's a little tough when there's no inventory for them. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Do you see that changing anytime in the near future? I know the springtime is usually a very big season in your market. Do you think that the inventory situation will change once the weather gets nicer?
We're hoping. I'm pushing a lot of clients, just even pocket listings, off-market listings. We're really taking that approach with our buyer clients that are relocating. But I'm hoping that the springtime, it'll open up for more people wanting to put their homes on the market. I'm actually really hoping that people will just really jump on the wagon now and start seeing that they can get a big buck for their home and, be able to sell now instead of waiting for springtime.
Well, I know Groundhog Day was Tuesday. I don't know what the result was. What was the result?
Looks like we have 6 more weeks of winter.
There's 12 more weeks?
Yeah, we were back in winter apparently.
Well, me and Hilary are down here in Florida, so don't get mad at us, Nilou. It's a little warmer down here than Charlotte. But Charlotte's nice weather most of the year.
It's not bad, and when I came here from Miami, so I'm very familiar with what you guys are dealing with over there, and I am very jealous. But it's pretty cold over here. I'm surprised. Typically around this time we have some decent weather. It's not like up north, New York, Philly weather, but it's been cold. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
guys
forward to
usually, I know like once a year you guys get a snowstorm. I don't know if did you get hit at all with the last one?
nothing.
Nothing. Okay, because I know I'm from DC and the rain snow line is always right around there. So Carol, sometimes it goes down. You guys get ice, like freezing rain,
We do. We get a lot of rain.
which is
Again, it gets a lot icy, roads shut down. So we get the cold and the nasty weather without the pretty snow, which sucks.
yeah. But beautiful springtime when you got the March, April is amazing down there.
No, it is. It's beautiful weather. I'm happy overall, and we get a change of seasons. We get to have some kind of cold weather, but I do miss the Florida weather. I'll tell you that.
Well, with the colors you're wearing, you're definitely wearing some Florida colors today.
I'm trying to bring the vibes.
You're ready for spring. If you were the groundhog, then there would be no more. There would be no more cold. Unfortunately, the groundhog's not wearing the same outfit you're wearing.
I would lie to the world.
Over to Hillary. Hillary, thanks again so much for joining us. The weather, I know down here in South Florida, it's about 75 and sunny. I know that your weather is usually perfect because one of my coworkers, April, her mother lives in Destin, and whenever she visits her, she posts pictures, and it's always perfect weather, like sunny and not a cloud. So I'm going to guess once again today, sunny and not a cloud.
Well, I wish I could tell you that, but we actually, for the one day out of the whole year, we have one cloudy day today. So
Oh, wow.
It's our one day. That will be it.
Yeah, because over here
And then we will be sunny every day.
You guys don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're getting our one winter day today, and that's it.
How's everything going with regard to your market? I know you guys have been on fire. I know it's an inventory issue. We touched on that a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about how things finished out last year, and also what you project moving forward into this year for 30A and some of the surrounding areas there.
Yeah, so very similar story to what Nilou was saying. Just the inventory is so low going into 2021. I have been doing real estate since 1997, and I have to say, in all my years, this is the most unique market because it actually is a real low inventory situation that no one has ever really had to deal with in the past 2 decades at least. Because even back in our boom days of 04, 03, 05, the inventory was still actually there. It was just being held back by the developers because they didn't want to release it all at once. So there was real inventory there, and now there's not. There's actually just no one's no one's holding out on the inventory, so to speak. So 2020 was clearly one for the record books for us, and it was because it was like a 3-prong situation. It was locals wanting to move to different properties because they had realized during COVID that they either needed a home with a pool or they needed to be on the water so they could have boating activities, while they're quarantined, or they wanted to get a fenced in yard, or they wanted a bigger house, so they needed a different layout. And so the locals started moving. And then anybody who had ever wanted a second home who had been waiting decided they needed to get that second home so they have a place to come to. And then, of course, so many people moved here to make it their primary residence. So I've never seen all 3 layers of buyers wanting to buy at the same time. And I think that's what really launched us having the inventory slowly be taken away. And now we're in that same position. We're going into 2021 with, basically about a month and a half worth of inventory. And we went into 2020 with almost 7 months of inventory. So it is going to make this year very interesting, and our agents are going to have to work harder than they've ever worked for their clients. But I kind of love it. I think it's the ultimate challenge. And I think it's going to create this incredible level of service. So, no longer can you just go and look on MLS to find something. You're having to go and find the properties for them. And you're really, really having to work, 3 times as hard to find properties for the buyers. And I think that's kind of awesome, actually. I think this is a great opportunity for buyers to see the agents who are willing to work hard and shine for them. And I think that will make the relationships that much stronger as they move forward.
No, absolutely. That's terrific. In terms of areas within 30A, do you think there'll be specific areas that will be hot spots, or is it overall all the areas you cover? Any area that maybe is hotter than other areas within that 30A corridor?
Well, so 2 things are very telling. Gulf front was absolutely king. It always is, but even more so. Gulf front, the numbers coming out of 2020, it's like a 50% difference. It's really staggering. I don't think we'll ever see numbers like this again. So Gulf front is the real story. And what's interesting, not only was it Gulf front for 30A, but we saw the same thing for Bayfront. Bayfront has also seen a huge surge. So any kind of water has just been key to the sales and to where buyers are saying they want to be and what they want to experience and what they're willing to pay for. And along with that, the original part of that question you asked me, I would say that Alice Beach has been the #1 community on 30A that has seen the greatest surge in not only the number of sales, but the price increase as well.
What are you doing differently with COVID? I know you touched a little bit about things that you're doing differently. Is there anything you're doing differently from a marketing perspective, or with regards to your clients, with regards to maybe some technology that you're using that you hadn't used before? I know everyone talks about Matterport. Is there anything that you're doing different? And Zoom? Is there anything that you're doing that you found that has really helped during this, COVID challenges?
Well, we certainly had to go to doing a lot of virtual showings, virtual open houses. Everything became virtual, and so much being bought sight unseen that only through us, facilitating that they never even come in person to see the properties. And so that has been a really big difference for all of us, 2020 and now into 2021 as well, because not only now, it's not even just about whether they can be here or not. Now it's about the properties are going so quickly, or you have to act so quickly when a property is secured that you don't have the time to come here in person to see it. So we really are their eyes and ears, and they are having to trust their agents more than they ever have before.
Great. Nilou, back over to you. In terms of, do you have one success story from when COVID started till now, the past year, that you want to share with everyone? Maybe a problem, and you were able to solve the problem and come up with a great solution. Is there anything that you'd like to share specifically over the past year that you've had occur with regard to Henderson Ventures?
Yeah, I would say a lot of things that Hilary said were very similar for us here. And I'll say with that, we've had a lot of clients that, especially relocating here, that had to do the virtual tours, that had to purchase without actually physically seeing the property. And we actually had a client that was actually out of the country in London and was relocated to North Carolina. And we were working back and forth. There was a pocket listing here for our firm. And I was representing those sellers. And just because of COVID, sellers, just really why the inventory, I feel, has this issue right now is because sellers, they're not looking to make the move. If they're comfortable in their home, they don't want to deal with the inconvenience of having to move their family in the middle of a pandemic. So we did have a little bit of an issue with the buyer wanting to move in, of course, wanting to close on their property in a normal time frame, which for us here, it's about a quick close is 30 days and 45 to 60 days is kind of typical. This seller was willing to just kind of sit where they're at and wait for the right buyer to be able to work with their flexible schedule. And so they wanted to stay in the home like a seller possession after closing. So it was a little difficult dealing with this, in this caliber of a home and dealing with this clientele that's purchasing this home, 4.5 million cash, and was wanting to be able to have that instant gratification of closing on their home and moving in, and the seller wanting to kind of stay there and slowly in their own time and flexibility move into, their new place and transition without the inconvenience. So with a lot of back and forth, we were able to kind of work through that. get the deal closed and allow the seller to be able to have a little short period of time of seller possession after closing to be able to slowly transition and in the comfort of their schedule, move into their new place. So I think that was one of our big success stories. Again, it was something that was rare, finding somebody that was ready to drop that price of a home and close without having to physically see it. You don't see that every day. And Charlotte's not like Miami. You know, we have a cap. When you're hitting those $4 million, $5 million dollar homes, those buyers don't come every day. So when they do come, the last thing you want to do is throw a seller possession after closing. So yeah, I feel like that was a very successful one for us.
That's interesting that you say that because as someone that I purchased real estate, a condo during the COVID, but I haven't tried to sell real estate. And I always talk to agents and I'm thinking to myself, the market's so hot. Why not sell your property right now and make money? But you don't think about the other things, the health risks,
Yeah.
And everything else going on right now with COVID. People don't want to deal with it.
No, exactly.
The money is not they'd rather just wait until they're more safe.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing is that for a lot of sellers that we speak with, and a lot of them are, you know, whether they played with my husband, whether they're friends that trust us, you know, I go to them like, this is a great time. They're like, okay, well, where are we going to go, Nilou? You know, there's no
Exactly.
make money, but we're not going to have our family uncomfortable in the middle of a pandemic, living in an apartment or living in a rental when we're trying to figure out where to go and there's no homes to purchase. So it's tough. It's a tough scenario. Of course, you want to be able to take advantage of the market and be able to sell your home for probably a price that we can't guarantee you'll be able to sell it in 6 months from now. Who knows? But then again, you have to think about, okay, well, what's the inconvenience for me and my family? Is the money worth it? You know, you have to really sit back as a seller and decide, do I want to take this opportunity and be uncomfortable, or do I want to just risk it?
Yeah. What have you utilized that's been different technology-wise that maybe you wouldn't have used previously? I guess I know Hilary touched on some virtual tours. I've heard some agents say that they've actually closed a deal without ever meeting the person from just virtual from some areas. There's some crazy stuff going on. I don't know if you've utilized different technology that you might have not embraced before.
Yeah, I feel like our firm, we try to be very digital and media driven. So we've done the virtual tours, the Motorport, all of those things even prior to COVID. But I will say we're doing it a lot more now. We're making a requirement for our agents inside of our firm for the virtual tours and to a certain caliber when you're hitting this luxury market. And then also, absolutely, I mean, we're closing deals. For example, this one that I just, brought to the table, we're closing deals on virtual tours very often. And I will say it is a little harder, having to deal with trying to really showcase a property and maybe some of its features on a video. It's just not the same as seeing it in person. So you are really working for that transaction. I think like Hilary said, to piggyback on that, your agents are really able to show their value during these times, because I think we're undervalued in a lot of areas. And I think a lot of different platforms have made it difficult for us to be able to really show why it's important to have that representation. But most importantly, during this time, it's allowing us as agents to be able to show the value that we hold during a real estate transaction.
Yeah, and what we found is that it seems like the top agents are being very successful right now, and then maybe the mid-level ones are losing out because people want someone they can trust right now, and they're going more with the top agents and not with their best friend or a friend of theirs.
Absolutely.
People don't want to mess around right now. And that it seems like the top agents are very busy. I know I've called both of you guys many times. No one ever answers me when I call. So I know you guys are busy. So yeah, Hilary, back over to you. What makes 30A such an amazing place to relocate to for people who may not know enough about it, or what makes it so unique and different and what's such a hot spot right now?
So I think, the thing that has always drawn people to 30A, but even more so now, is there is an incredible outdoor lifestyle. Whether you like to do all of the beach activities, or you want to ride bikes, you want to go on walks, you want to be able to do what we call YOLO boarding, stand-up paddle. You can do that on the lakes, you can do that on the bay, you can do that on the Gulf. You have tennis, you have incredible golf course communities and golf course opportunities, fishing, literally anything and everything outdoor is available to you here. So it feels like a very safe place to be able to come, bring your family to, and still be able to do things together and have a really incredibly healthy lifestyle that people are seeking. They don't want to have to be cooped up inside, and they don't want to have to, limit that physical activity to inside their homes. And so it's been an incredible way for people to feel normal, so to speak, and they're getting to continue a lifestyle that is important to them and important for their families and their spouses and their kids, and just to kind of have that mental health aspect of it. I think it's very challenging for people to be, not only if you have to be inside doing all your work and doing your schoolwork, but if you're also having to get any kind of physical exercise inside, that's kind of miserable. And so this is a way for them to, get some sunshine, because we do have a lot of sunshine, other than today, and also get that activity and have that time with your, partner and your friends and your family. So you're connecting, because I think a lot of people right now, they go in their rooms and they go in their offices and they shut the door and they do schoolwork and they do their work. People are working more than ever now that they're able to do it at home, and then they're not connecting because they think they're with their family all day, or their spouses or their friends or their partners, and they're not really connecting. So here they feel that instant connection again, because they're able to experience so much of that lifestyle that is outdoors.
Mhm. Yeah, mental health, getting outside and seeing other people is crucial. And it looks like from the pictures that I always see, I haven't been out there, but it looks gorgeous. Like I said, the sun's shining, I think 99% of the time.
That's right. That's right. We're sticking with you be the weather person for us. It's 99% sunny. That's right. Well, and I think, we also obviously it's a smaller area in which we reside. And so your restaurants are, for the most part, you have a lot of outdoor dining. Everything is a little bit on a smaller scale. So from a social distancing point of view, it also feels very good. You're not coming to a large populated area. On the beach, like obviously you can spread out and you don't have to see anybody if you don't want to. And there's just ways to really enjoy what's more of what we're saying, a normal life here on 30A. Restaurants are open, shops are open, because of that smaller scale population.
What areas are you seeing as the top areas coming your way with regards to relocation? I know Texas is a big area, and
Chicago has been really big too for us. Northeast has been big. We've seen that. But the most interesting thing that started just towards the end of 2020, that's going to actually define 2021 for us, in my opinion, is all the people who have moved to areas like Atlanta and Nashville, from the Northeast or from California, from Chicago, especially Nashville has been really big with Chicago and California coming into there. Well, Nashville is a feeder market to our area. So what's happening is they're moving to Nashville, for example, and their kids are getting enrolled in school, or they're getting to work, and they're finding out that everybody on the long holiday weekends or on the fall breaks or on the spring breaks are coming to 30A, and they maybe didn't even know about us, and now they do. And now they're like, oh, well, we got to go to 30A too. So I think what's happening is we are the second step in their migration. So first they did their primary move, and now we're their second move. So that's kind of fun and exciting that those were already areas that was feeder markets, but now we're getting the feeder market of the second home from the other cities that we normally wouldn't be a consideration for.
the secret's getting out. You better watch out. Too many people are going to find out soon about this.
Well, and clearly with our inventory problem, that's already an issue. But I will say we do have a lot of new construction coming, and we do have a lot of development that's happening, that's kind of really exciting for us, and I think is going to open up some inventory for us. I know my partner and myself, we actually have created some inventory for ourselves. We were taking down property last year and starting construction, and I have a partner who is a developer and a builder with us, and they have been taking down a lot of property and developing. So I know that's going across the board, and we between all of us, I think we'll be able to bring quite a bit of inventory here going into the second and third quarter.
Oh, that's great. That's good news. And you have the white beaches too. I know the beaches have some kind of white sand.
It is the whitest sand possible.
It's different than over here on the east side.
Yes, it is. It's very soft and very white and beautiful. And everyone just wants to come and sit in the sand here.
I'm sold. I'm ready to move there.
Come on.
Hopefully they're not all leaving Charlotte. That's for sure. So Nilou, tell us why Charlotte's an amazing place. I know that Charlotte's been a booming place for a very long time. I went to Radford University, and I remember the banks all moved to Charlotte, so they have all the bank headquarters, and it's a great place for the young professionals, but as well as others. It's right in the middle of the Mid-Atlantic, so it's perfectly situated. But I guess tell us a little bit more about why Charlotte's a wonderful place to go to and relocate to.
Well, it's kind of tough after hearing all those great things from where Hilary's at, hearing about the fluffy, white, sandy beaches. We can't relate to that, I'll tell you that. But no, Charlotte's great. So again, like you said, Charlotte's a banking city. So there's a lot of opportunity. A lot of people are moving here, young professionals. The city is not too big, so it's not like Miami, not like New York. So our teams here, the basketball team, football team, the city stands behind them. So a lot of times you'll find a lot of fans. For us, we work with a lot of the sports and entertainment. So a lot of our guys that are coming into town and signing with the new team, it's very easy to be able to have this be home for them. A lot of them who are friends or my husband's colleagues in the past, they end up calling Charlotte home after they played here. For example, for us, my husband played with Duke. He was with the Hornets for 6 years, but Philly is home for him. And this is home for us now. After all the years of being here, it really just grows on you. It's the South, but still has a little bit of that city flavor. The culture is here. You have a lot of different great restaurants, a lot of good places to be able to go and just have a good time. Like she said, with the parks and recreations, there's a lot of things to do. What I will say we're lacking is the beach, but we try to make up for it with the lakes that we have here. So we have our Lake Wylie and Lake Norman. So in the summertime, you have a lot of the families here that have their second residence on the lake, where it's just a 25-30 minute commute, and you're able to have that water activities and have the feel of that without missing out on the beach. So I think Charlotte really, it becomes home for you. If you've been here or if you live here for quite some time, it grows on you just because of it's a real homey feel. You end up knowing a lot of people. It's easy to network, easy to make friends. So for the people that move here with their businesses or with these banking professions, they're easily able to just have a good social life.
And the beach is not that far. You have the beaches, that are what, 2 hours away?
Yeah, I wouldn't call those beaches.
You can. It's okay. Call them beaches.
It's funny because, again, since I moved here from Florida, it's tough when you go to some of these Outer Banks and some of these beaches off the coast, and it's not the same.
A little different. I understand that because I'm from DC area, so I used to go to like Dewey Beach in Ocean City, and that's a lot different than when you move to Miami.
Exactly.
I like those beaches, but I understand what you're saying. You want to be in the tropical beach. You don't want to be in the Northeast beach.
Carolina has some palm trees. It's a little sketchy.
I can tell with the outfit. We can tell. You should come down and visit us.
Oh, I am coming. Don't worry.
75 and sunny today.
I'm hearing talk about no clouds. Today's the only day of winter. I'm sitting here. I'm depressed. I'm getting ready to start taking bigger sips of my wine. I'm like, wow, I'm outside in this. I don't know. I think it's like 35 degrees here today. It's freezing.
That's not good. That's not good. Well, the groundhog saw his shadow, so that's the problem. He was right.
Yep, it's all his fault.
That started the whole problem this week. In terms of obviously you work with a lot of high-level athletes, relocation. Tell us, because I'm intrigued by that. I'm a huge sports fan. Tell us a little bit about that and how dealing with that is different and unique as compared to a regular buyer. Obviously, they need something very fast, I think, and quick, and they're very particular. But what else would it be that'll be different?
And again, one of the reasons why we really started our firm and tailored to that clientele is just based off of our experience. We feel we can resonate with them, and it really comes down to confidentiality and just being able to represent them on a level where you're not looking at them as a dollar sign. A lot of these players, they're young. They are looking for guidance that's going to be in their best interest. Because they'll go spend a lot of money on a house that they shouldn't probably be doing. So it really takes working with them is just really just treating them as if you would if it was your husband or your son, really like guiding them and just advising them, working with their team, and just really being confidential about it. A lot of my athlete clients, they don't want to be all over social media. They don't want you walking through their house showcasing the listing that you have. They don't want you to announce the close until it's finished, because they do want that sense of privacy. They are consistently in the public eye. All their world and everything around them is constantly on social media, on TV. So when it comes to their family and their home, they really want that sense of confidentiality and exclusivity. They want you to really hold that as a high value for them. So that's really what's important. And then of course, just the full service feel. They don't have time to deal with the ins and outs of, whether it's contractors, whether it's vendors, whether it's just furniture, all that. They really are looking for that full service experience. And that's kind of what we have put together here at our firm. We have our sister company. We own an interior design firm, Stage of Designs, that we just really tie in hand. We're able to provide them with not only whether it's an executive rental or a long-term home, but also help them with furnishing the home and giving them, staging it and designing it for them to be able to have when they step into the city, they're stepping into a place that is completely furnished. And again, dealing with the concierge part of it, making sure they have somebody for a nanny, or whether it's a chef or a cleaner, just all the pieces of the puzzle that needs to get put together for them. So when they step into town, everything is ready to go for them.
It sounds like they have to put a lot of trust in you being the expert, because they're coming to a town they don't know about. So they got to learn a lot about you, about it from you, not just as a realtor, but everything else, doctor, restaurants, everything. You name it, you got to help out with it.
Yeah, it's true. I joke about it, but it's very real. I really put on so many different hats when I'm working with these clients, because, I'll get a call from their mom. Like I said, a lot of them are young, and they're like, do you have somebody that can come fix this TV? Or do you have somebody that can, go to pick up his cleaners? And I'm constantly like making calls. And of course, they're your clients. You want to take care of them. You don't want to be like, oh, that's not my area, or I don't handle that. I just handle this. I'm constantly wearing different hats. I'm calling chefs. So you really become a connector. You really are really a full service concierge, and you're just doing what it takes to get the job done and be able to really have them someone that they can trust, and just know that in your hands that it's going to get done.
Yeah. And I'm not going to ask you, since it's confidential, if you helped Gordon Hayward, the big signing in the offseason, who's playing very well. 120 million, I think he got.
Yeah.
You can't tell me. I'm not going to ask.
It's a great pick. We're excited to have him here in Charlotte for sure. But
the Celtics lost a good one there. I know he's playing very well. I haven't checked in the last week or two. He's still doing well, right?
He's playing well. He is. I think he's just a great asset to the team in all different angles, just for being able to have a vet player for someone to be able to look up to. But you know what? The Celtics are fine. They got one of our really good players, Kemba, so they're totally fine.
Well, my team's the Washington Wizards, and we have Bradley Beal leading the NBA in scoring, but our team is awful. So I'll trade you Brian Westbrook for a ham sandwich. Russell Westbrook.
Oh no! For a
ham sandwich. That guy's done.
Oh no! I'm gonna not get on this conversation.
So thank you so much for we won't talk about the Duke Blue Devils. Although this year Duke hasn't played that well. Not getting off track.
No, you're gonna have my husband start running into this room if I start making any comments.
They're always good though. I mean, they're still top 25, I think, right? I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but what I will say is when you marry a Blue Devil, you have to go hard for that team, because there's no other option. So listen, I have nothing but great things to say about that team. No, and one of our really good friends, actually, my husband's best friend, who he played with whenever he was with them, John Shire, is the assistant coach with Duke. And so I think he's there, him and Coach K, of course, Coach K is amazing. They're doing great things for that team. So even if they're not, I think everyone's having an interesting year when it comes to sports. They're trying to get adapted to this COVID stuff and just the schedule. It's a lot of pressure. So I think everyone's just really trying just to pivot with what we're getting thrown at us, just like how we are day to day.
It's amazing that the NBA has been able to pull it off with the Wizards shut down for 2 weeks with half the team had COVID. So it's interesting how everyone's really, I find it interesting how everyone's adapted to the situation. Like you said, you're helping people to adapt and problem solving. And it seems like everyone's more flexible than they usually are. And it's working out, especially the NBA, real estate, everything's been flexible. And I think the people who adapt seem like they're doing really well.
Agreed. I think you have to be able to evolve with everything that you do in life. I think you have to be able to really evolve with what's thrown at you. And the people that are going to be successful are the people that are going to be able to step outside their comfort zone and see what's going on in front of them, evolve, and just be able to continue to be able to be successful in whatever the climate is.
Hilary, back over to you. I don't think there is any pro sports teams at 30A, right?
Sadly, there is not.
What's the big college team there?
We do not have that either. We have to go everywhere for our sports stuff. So it gives us an excuse to travel.
The biggest university near you?
I mean, there actually truly is not. I mean, it's okay. So Florida State obviously is the closest one to us, and that's about 2.5 hours away.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys really are on your own, aren't you?
Yeah, we're an island. You have to remember that. And so with that island comes no sports.
Well, what? Then I'm not.
I don't know.
When you play sports, you don't watch the sports, you play them because of all the activities.
That's it. See, that's a good spin on that. I like that.
You're playing the sports. All right, that makes sense.
Right.
So I don't think I asked you this earlier. Did I? Your biggest success story from the past year?
Yeah. So
I don't think I asked you that. Did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay. Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me if you had one success story over the past year for COVID. Tell us the details.
So mine's going to be a little broader than Nilou's was, and I don't know if I think you're aware, but we became Corcoran Reverie in April of 2020. So we did a merger and a launch as only the 4th affiliate of the Corcoran Group, and it was supposed to be a live launch. And that's the way it's always historically had been done. But because of COVID, we had to make it a virtual launch. And that was actually really intimidating because we had no blueprint for that. No one had ever done it before. And it was an unknown as to how that would be. But we didn't want to delay the launch. We had already delayed it by a month. And so we went for it. And we became the first affiliate partner to ever do a virtual launch and a merger all on the same day. And it ended up being wildly successful. And actually, I think more fun than if we had done it normally, because our agents all received a box that had champagne in it and a hat and a bottle and all this fun stuff. And they got to all open their boxes at the same time, letting them know that they were now part of the Corcoran Group and that they were all merging together. And so it was a huge day of celebration, even though we couldn't be together. And it really set the tone for the rest of the year. It set the tone for our company. And we ended up breaking all kinds of sales records. And it was a pretty incredible experience that I think is kind of once in a lifetime.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize that it happened that's right around when COVID started.
It did.
And then but you had no idea. You were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Next thing you know, you're your best year ever, right?
Yeah. And of course, for us, it ended up being even more incredible. The pandemic actually helped us because obviously the Northeast already was very, very familiar with the Corcoran Group. And so when we launched it here, there was an immediate connectivity. So that was exciting and made a huge part of our success for 2020.
Yeah, that's a brand. We were talking to someone in Hawaii with Corcoran today. That's a brand.
Yes.
That's very well known. I'm gonna hit you up for a reference, by the way.
I'm good with that.
I'm gonna email her afterwards.
I'm happy to help.
But no, she was talking about how she loves Corcoran, and we have a lot of partners, but that's definitely a brand that's becoming more and more well known. Globally, I feel like so. Not just on the East Coast, but all over the country.
Yeah, they're going to grow a lot more in 2021, and it's fun to be a part of that growth.
Absolutely, and that's really cool to see that you had so much success with your Zoom launch or your launch, which you were probably very nervous about that when you did it. But one thing that's cool is that you can get people's information. You know who's there. You can follow up with them. But yeah, it's great. You can still personalize stuff when you're at home or not. I would have wondered what would have happened with COVID if it happened 50 years ago. What would have happened?
Yeah,
We're really lucky that we have the technology today to help get through this from a business standpoint.
and I think it's obviously shifted our entire society and will now indefinitely shift it. I think it's going to have an impact on our work and how we live, and that's going to impact our real estate. And it's really a turning point for everything that we do with real estate, with work life in general, I think for our whole society.
Yeah, agreed. Let's just hope we figured out the disease and it gets better. But it looks like it's slowly getting a little better here. So hopefully we continue on a positive track so that we can move on from this whole thing. Nilou, back over to you. Any last thoughts, comments that you want to share with everyone out there with regards to Henderson Ventures or anything at all with regard to COVID, or that you want to share with consumers or agents out there as well?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to be able to be on here. We're excited to be able to collaborate with you. We're 100% media driven. So we think it's really important to be able to put yourself out there, whether it's a firm, an individual agent, to be able to really get yourself, just realize the kind of market that we're in. Like Hilary said, it's a turning point for us. So I think this was going to happen with or without the pandemic. It was time for a lot of things to go virtual, for a lot of things to be driven. That's just the day and age that we're in. And I think that it's a good experience for everyone to really, sometimes you have to get thrown into the water to be able to learn how to swim. So I think for a lot of people, that's what it was. We were blessed to be able to have the opportunity to still do well in the middle of the pandemic. And we're happy that the luxury market is still thriving here in Charlotte. And, we're hoping that things will just continue to be the same going into 2021 without the inventory problem, because we need that to be fixed. But with that being said, here at Henderson Ventures, we have a lot of things in play. My husband is now over our development and investments. We have a huge 40 home luxury community that we are developing currently. So that will help the inventory. We will be having homes starting from 1.4 to 3 million. And so we're really excited to be able to bring that to the table here in our market. And I think we'll start seeing that across the board. I think a lot of people are going to step up to the plate and be able to start bringing new construction, like Hilary said, new developments to hopefully help with that inventory issue and just really take advantage of the hot market that we have going on right now. So we're excited, and hopefully we'll be able to continue bringing great content, great listings, and a successful year here in 2021.
And with the trade deadline coming up soon, you might have some more players relocating too.
I'm looking forward to it. We are.
I see all the rumors. I see all the trade rumors out there. I got my Bleacher Report app going all day long. Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Nilou? That's the last question.
Okay, so here's the thing about me. I'm so out of the loop with football. I'm sorry, so that's probably not the best question for me on this spot.
Tom Brady. Everyone knows Tom Brady.
Of course.
Yeah, you got to say the Bucks are going to win.
Well, let me tell you this.
In a home game in the Super Bowl, that's never been done before. That's crazy.
Yeah, they got to win.
I hope they do. And with all due respect, I will say, though I'm out of the loop with the football, a lot of my clients in the sports and entertainment are football. So it's crazy because I deal with the basketball because of my husband's relations and network, but majority of my clients, and actually my clients that become great friends as far as the wives, they're in the football world. So I have to get better at it. I have to really learn that sport a lot more.
Well, football's got more players. They have 60 players on the roster. Basketball has like 15. So there's more out there. Ron Rivera is a very good coach. He went to coach my Washington team, beat cancer and made the playoffs.
Yes, we love Ron.
Cam Newton. But I know Carolina's restocking. They got Christian McCaffrey's the man. So the running back. So
That's right.
I'll give you some pointers on football terms too. I'm sure your husband knows football very well, though. I'm sure he can help you with that. But it sounds like you're doing great anyway.
We do. And like I said, say that again?
It sounds like you're doing great with the football clients anyways. All they care about is that you help them with relocating. They don't want you to talk about the stats.
I give them a heads up. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be honest. I was like, I don't know much about football, but I can help you find a house.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know that no matter what the sport is, that you guys will be amazing with relocation and the go-to people in Charlotte, no matter what, across the board. Hillary, want to get your last thoughts with regards to anything that you want to share with the audience about 30A and the secret that's out there now. So you don't want to make, is there any other secrets you want to tell us?
Well, I was going to say, I don't think we want to say any more secrets, but I do want to tell Nilou, you should come to the beach. You should have your clients come buy a second house at the beach, and then we'll all come to you for the sports. So hopefully this year we'll come to you and you'll come to us.
We'll definitely connect for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure, I know Charlotte and Florida has a connection because there's definitely a ton of people down here in Carolina right now, this time of year that I'm seeing down here. I feel like everyone in America is down in Florida right now. I'm on the roads.
It feels that way to us too.
Everyone's working from home. Why is the rush hour worse than ever? Restaurants, I can't even get into a restaurant. They're all
true.
Everyone's down here.
Everyone's working virtual, so they can work where they're at. So it's convenient. I would be at the beach too if I wasn't here helping others find homes. But if others are gonna connect, I may be your next client.
That sounds great. I look forward to it. All right. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you guys. Thanks everyone for joining us. We've been live on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Zoom. We'll have a video that we're going to download on YouTube that we're going to send out to everyone as well. Really appreciate everyone joining us here. Nilou and Hilary, thank you so much for being amazing panelists and guests and partners. You guys are the best in the business, and you gave a lot of great insight today. So we really appreciate everything, and we definitely want to have you on again soon. And Nilou, come on down to Florida and visit us. It's warmer down here.
Yes.
So coming. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Guys,
Bye.
thanks so much.